Blue Wire. Kirk Cousins, he's going to be a Minnesota Viking. This was the right call.
Cousins pressure, hit as he throws, going for Thielen. He's got it! Touchdown! Oh my! Up by Diggs. Stay up! Oh my God! Oh my God! 30! No way! Touchdown! It's a Minneapolis miracle!
Welcome in, everybody. Welcome into Bleeding Purple, a podcast about the Minnesota Vikings. We are part of the Blue Wire Podcast Network. We are brought to you this week by Untuck It and Manscaped. My name is Tyler Haig. I'm joined, as always, by Mr. Adam Patrick. What up, buddy?
It's not a victory Monday, but
It is not.
could be worse. Because the entire NFC North lost as well on Sunday, and the Patriots lost, so it's okay.
Some people don't believe in the Schadenfreude, enjoying
Moral
other
victory.
people's misfortunes. I love
yeah.
it. It is bread and butter for my day-to-day life. And when the Packers lose, I feel better about the Vikings losing. When the Patriots lose, I just feel better about life in general. I just feel like somewhere karmically some scales are being evened somewhere. So I feel good about that. As far as the Vikings game specifically, if you haven't heard, the Vikings lost on a last-second field goal. It was all kinds of different things. The game really was...
Yeah, it's back and forth.
It was a fun game to watch, but it wasn't super well played, I don't think, if that makes sense. There was a lot of mistakes on both sides. To me, the thing that I was left with after the game was just kind of a missed opportunity. That was a game that they could have won, which would have helped them in the long run, but I'm not ready to burn it down after the loss the way some people are. How do you feel in general, Adam, about this game, and are you ready to cut Kirk Cousins, I guess, is the real question.
Oh, for sure. Trade him to the Dolphins.
Winning streak.
Yeah, no, I feel fine. I think we all had, before the season even started, we all had the Chiefs game most likely as a loss.
Yep.
So the fact that even without Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs are a very talented team. They still have a lot of talent on that roster, and Matt Moore is not terrible.
He's like
been in the league
best
for a while.
backup quarterback that could have played against the Vikings in that, and that's what he does.
And he did this before. He did this in 2009 when he against the mighty Brett Favre-led Vikings. So we shouldn't be surprised.
We have seen this before from Matt Moore.
He has a Vikings number.
Yes.
He is who we thought he was.
100%. Nobody should be surprised about anything that happened in this game, to me. And if you were,
it was on the road.
Yeah, if you're going to be surprised, we'll get into it in a second. Continue.
It was a very windy day. That contributed to, I feel like, a lot of Kirk Cousins' miss throws, because some of those just seemed to sail or fall short for some reason. But no, I'm not worried about it. They were in the game until the very last second. They were leading in the fourth quarter.
All you can ask, right?
Yeah, just sometimes
win, obviously,
the ball, it doesn't. The coin doesn't flip your way. So, and that's what happened this week. The Vikings are 6-3. They're still one game behind in NFC North. They still have a chance. They're still, in contention to maybe get a playoff bye. I don't think home field advantage is probably in play anymore. I think first round bye is probably the best case scenario for them.
Yeah, looking less and less likely that will be the case.
Yeah.
I want to ask you.
So
sorry, keep going.
Now they get to go play the Cowboys on the road in a game they need to win.
A must win? Well, let's not do it yet. We can get into it on Wednesday. We'll talk about it. I'll ask you again. I want to ask, not like a big picture question, but I want to get a read on you, because I feel like this question is kind of the fork in the road for Vikings fans right now. So here's the scenario, and it happened on Sunday. Tie game, 2 minutes left, 2-minute warning has just happened. The Vikings offense has the ball. Kirk Cousins has the ball. I think by the 2-minute warning, they maybe were not with a fresh set of downs. Whatever. The point The point is, there's
right before the 2-minute mark.
Yeah, the point is, there was about 2 minutes left, and the Vikings had the ball. Did you at any point think that Kirk Cousins was going to lead them down the field for a victory there? What was your sense of what was about to take place, given what you had seen during the game up to that point, given what had happened? They get the ball in that situation. What did you think? Because I think we're all hopeful. God, I hope they can go down and score here. But I think if we're being honest with ourselves, there's no chance Kirk Cousins is leading them down. Not in that game. No way. No way.
I thought he had a chance. But looking back on it and looking at the way the game was called from a play calling standpoint, yeah, it wasn't going to be probably happening. Because I figured you're going to ask this, which is what I was doing right before we were podcasting. I looked at those 3 plays to see what exactly they ran, and they were all like short throws. There was a screen try to
Safe
Irv
stuff.
Smith, and then the third play was Pat Elflein pretending to play offensive line
That poor
and
guy.
letting pressure get to Kirk Cousins. So yeah, based on the play calling, which shied away from the run more than they probably should have, I wasn't too confident in them going all the way down the field, especially because I felt momentum was on the Chiefs' side.
Mm-hmm.
After they went downfield and Butker just hit that 54-yard field goal. They had a bunch of momentum.
By the way.
Oh, he's good.
I hate when kickers are what I want in a kicker. Like, he's the guy. That's what I want. Is that swag?
But you know what? He wouldn't be good with the Vikings.
No, he wouldn't.
So.
He would lose all of that. It would evaporate in a second.
Yes.
I know that. I understand that. The same way that we'll get into it later. But Colquitt, he's a great punter, except for when he needed to, because he's a Vikings player.
But you know what? I think Kirk Cousins, he's capable. He basically did that on the drive before when they went ahead and got the
100%.
touchdown. He
That's
drove them down the field.
Yeah, that to me is the point right there. Is that drive? That's a Kirk Cousins drive. I almost swore. That's a Kirk Cousins drive. There's more than enough time left. He's not super pressured. He's not getting forced to do one thing or another. The defense isn't keying on any one thing. It's all wide open. He can be successful. 2 minutes left. You have to throw the ball. No way Kirk Cousins is. Maybe he can do it in the future, but that to me is you're already playing for overtime at that point. And it looked like the offensive play calling was exactly that. We're going to try a couple of safe things here, and if it doesn't work out, no big deal, because Kirk has been literally throwing it over dudes' heads in this game. And that part...
Which is... Yeah.
You can debate
it's disappointing
all day.
when you have guys like Dalvin Cook and Stefon Diggs in your offense that you're going to play safe in that situation when you probably only need like 40, maybe 50 yards to get in a field goal range.
Mm-hmm.
I think they were on like the 25 or the 30. So they only really needed, like 50 yards to get in a field goal range. A couple, quick passes. I think they had 2 timeouts. They had 2 minutes to go. So, and in that situation, depending where they are on the field, it's even 4 down potential. So, just the play calling was off. It felt to me like Kevin Stefanski was like, they had a bunch of time to prepare, and it felt like he was trying to maybe outsmart the Chiefs and like make them do stuff that they weren't doing the past 4 weeks and trying to throw them off. But in the end, it didn't work because the Vikings just like got away from everything that they were doing well in the past 3 weeks, and they looked more like what they did in the first couple of weeks, which was, rely more on Kirk making decisions in the pocket and having him just stand back there, and that's not what he's good at. And it was weird because like usually if you have extra time, you feel like you're ready to go, you got a good game plan, and that wasn't the case.
No, it was like he was pump fake. It was like he was faking left, faking right, faking left, faking right, and meanwhile he was just standing in the same spot. So so the Chiefs were just like, they're like, oh, okay, I guess we'll just deal with your Manila thing that you got going on here.
They took Dalvin Cook out of the backfield a lot to just leaving an empty backfield. So right away you're eliminating the threat of the Chiefs having to worry about Dalvin Cook getting the ball, and they're like, okay, so we can just rush the passer. Just simple things like that just make it so much harder for the defense to figure out what you're running, and I feel like the Vikings didn't help themselves.
I agree with that.
Like that.
Yeah, I agree that the offense didn't help themselves. Ever seen untucked button down? They look bad. Why? Because they weren't meant to be worn that way. Thankfully, there's Untuck It, the original button down shirt actually designed to be worn untucked. No matter your size or shape, Untuck It shirts always fall at the perfect untucked length. And with the holidays near, there's no better gift for your favorite guy who needs an upgrade. I strongly dislike shopping for clothing, and Untuck It is perfect. Not only do the clothes look good, but you can find your favorite Untuck It style online, or you can check out one of their 80 brick and mortar stores. I can choose from styles like wrinkle-free button-down, super soft flannels, outerwear, and more. With Untuck It, your shirts never look baggy, bulgy, too long, or too big. And their website is easy to use. They even have a whole page devoted to helping you find your fit. So whether you're shopping for the perfect holiday gift or just trying to craft a smart, relaxed style of your own, Untuck It is the way to go. Visit untuckit.com and use code BLUE for 20% off at checkout. That's untuckit.com, untuckit.com, and promo code BLUE for 20% off. Let me ask you this.
Neither did the defense.
Here's where I'm at after this game. There seems to be a lot of anger, a lot of frustration at Kirk Cousins and the offense, and why can't we do this? To me, the most frustrating part of this team right now isn't Kirk Cousins or the offense, because we know what that is. It's mediocre at best. You got a couple of big playmakers that you need to have more than one catch and for 4 yards or whatever the bleep Diggs finished with.
Yep.
The thing that's bothering me is this defense. The team is built not for a good defense or an okay defense. It's built for a dominant defense that Kirk can just have that drive with 4 minutes left, score those points, and then the other team never even sniffs more points, ever. That's the team that they have built. The performance that we're seeing is putting Kirk Cousins into here's the ball with 2 minutes left, Kirk, go get him. Never going to work for Kirk Cousins, or at least not the way we have seen him perform up to this point. I still, as a Vikings fan, hold out hope that he will have a Flacco-like stretch in him, and he will lead us to the promised land. That's a separate conversation from today, though. Talking about a defense, I looked up some stats, Adam. I was so frustrated by this. I know, it doesn't happen a lot.
They're not good. They're not good on the road. So.
No, well, it's just mediocre stuff, like 15th in total yards and 15th in passing yards in the NFL and 13th in rushing yards and 22nd in I mean, these are... You don't necessarily complain about that as a defense, but for this team and the way this team is built, you can't be mediocre or good. You have to be great. You have to be dominant, or you put Kirk Cousins into these situations and he's never going to excel, and he's never going to do what you need him to do.
Well, it's weird because they had moments yesterday where they put the Chiefs in bad situations like third and longs and stuff, but then they would give up a bunch of yards on third down, or even let them convert on those third and longs. And it's like,
yeah, man.
Well, what was the point of even doing that if you're going to let them convert? They gave up that 91-yard run, which seemed like just a totally blown play where guys are up way too far when you're on the 9-yard line.
That to me is Mike Zim. That is in a nutshell, what is wrong with the defense. That never happens in previous years to a Mike Zimmer defense. That just doesn't exist. A 91-yard touchdown. What
did I say a couple of weeks ago when I was being destroyed for my take on Trey Waynes?
Oh yeah,
not
shame on you
well
for thinking
year.
that Trey Waynes wasn't cutting it at him.
And I said, cool, he's looked good against these terrible pass offenses. They're going to play a lot better pass offenses coming up. The Chiefs, the Cowboys, the Seahawks. And Trey Waynes is going to hurt them. And what happened yesterday?
Oh,
Tyreek Hill.
Oh my God, it looked ugly.
He burned.
So bad.
Trey Waynes ran a 4.3 in the combine, he's fast.
Real fast.
But he got just like shaked out of his boots yesterday so many times by Tyreek Hill.
Did you see Tyreek Hill on the 91-yard touchdown? How fast he ran? Like, that was obscene. He wasn't even carrying the ball and was running faster than everybody. People
are like, oh, it's Tyreek Hill. He's going to run by everyone. I'm like, no, but this happens all the time with Trey Waynes.
And also, it's your job to not let him do that. Or, granted, we don't know schematically what they're trying to do. And I do think that from the cornerback perspective, I think that's a lot of the issues that we're seeing is they're telling him to keep everybody in front. And as a result, we're seeing these guys that are getting older that can't put their foot in the ground and can't break up that pass. And as a result, it's like 8-9 yard gains pretty regularly from Case Keenum, or Chase Daniel or Matt Moore. And this to me that's what is frustrating is that these aren't, if it was Tom Brady, Drew Brees, even Aaron Rodgers, I'd be like, all right, these guys are, but it's not. It's like there's no fear of this defense anymore from NFL offenses. And even the mediocre guys don't care.
At least not on the road. They're totally different defense on the road.
That's a great point.
On natural grass. It just seems like they're totally different. It's just Kirk Cousins, he might get a lot of the blame, but he threw 3 touchdowns yesterday.
No turnovers.
No turnovers. He was not by far not even close to the main reason why they lost yesterday. You could put more blame on the defense, more blame on Mike Zimmer for some of the decisions he made, more blame on the play calling, more blame on
offensive line.
Dan Bailey, the punter, Britton Colquitt, shanking a punt when they absolutely could not have that happen at that moment.
The only thing that you can't do is shank a punt.
He was good, and he was kicking very well.
I was gonna
all game long.
God dang it, Adam! I was gonna come on this podcast and I was gonna have like a song ready for Colquitt for winning the Colquitt challenge because his brother was doing it on the field. It was gonna be so dope, and then he does that. You just can't. You can't make it up.
And they had Mackenzie Alexander on Travis Kelce a bunch of times, which is like a 7-inch difference.
It was a really weird game, and one of those games where this is maybe I think the problem in the Mike Zimmer era and specifically the Kirk Cousins era of these Vikings is they just have these games where this is a really talented football team and they did so many inexplicably stupid, bad things in this game. And it just...
And they still almost won.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. And Laquan Treadwell was your leading receiver and you still only lost on a field goal at the end.
You know what?
We got to give credit where credit is due here. We got to talk about Treadwell.
He looked good. He caught passes longer than 3 yards yesterday.
He did.
He had that. And then what was that offensive pass interference that ref called? Like what was that? And he was trying to explain to Mike Zimmer like, oh yeah, he was grabbing him, and that was really weird.
That one bothered me. And then the offensive line.
There was like a whole a whole sequence where they had to review a bunch of plays and it made the game like a half hour longer. But that was weird. Treadwell, he looked decent.
He looked kind of like
one
an
game.
NFL wide receiver.
He still was under. He still hasn't had a game over 60 yards receiving. So all his catches came in the first half.
He did more of that in the second. Why you gotta take his shine, Adam? Why you gotta take his shine?
Because I don't want people to start boosting him up like, oh, they got Treadwell now. He's third receiver. They're
good. No
rotate
problem.
him and BC Johnson.
No need to draft one
Thielen
this year.
Can sit out for the rest of the year. They don't need him.
Support for Blue Wire comes from Manscaped, who is #1 in men's below-the-belt grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. If you have spent any time doing any manscaping, it doesn't take you very long to remember a time where you accidentally caught your beanbag. It's a brutal, special kind of pain, but fear not. That is why Manscaped has redesigned the electric trimmer. Their Lawnmower 2.0 has proprietary skin-safe technology so the trimmer won't nick or snag your nuts. Manscaping accidents are a thing of the past. And don't use the same trimmer on your face that you're using on your balls. That's gross. You're better than that. Manscaped has also invented the Crop Preserver, an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer. You already put deodorant on your armpits. Why are you not deodorizing the smelliest part of your body? Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code BLUEWIRE at manscaped.com. Always use the right tools for the job. Your balls will thank you. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code BLUEWIRE at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use code BLUEWIRE. Oh, we haven't even mentioned that. Adam Thielen. Let's talk about that for a little bit. Adam Thielen re-aggravates his hamstring injury. We saw this last year with Dalvin Cook. Yeah, are you in the camp where it's like just let him sit for another week or two? What do you do? Because now he's basically starting over because it's re-hurt again. It's the same amount of hurt as it was when it first started.
I think Mike Zimmer said today that it's not as serious as the one that Dalvin Cook had last year. So that's why they were kind of optimistic about it. But at the same time, hamstrings are just so hard to predict, like the recovery time. So what they should do, even though it sucks, sit him next week against the Cowboys, sit him the week after against the Broncos. Then you get a bye week, so he gets 3 weeks off. And actually almost 4 weeks because he gets that next week until the game.
Yeah.
And then you get an extra day off, actually, because you're playing the Seahawks on Monday night. So sit him these next 2 weeks, get him healthy. You're going to need him. You still get 5 games with him left after the bye week, so you still get a good chunk of the year with him. But him being on the field or trying to give it a go, it's probably going to hurt him more in the long run than it is just sit it out and just let it heal.
Yeah. It's frustrating and I'm sure it frustrates him too, but it's like, what can you do besides sit him? I think that's the only play there, because otherwise we're doing the same thing we did with Dalvin Cook, where it's every game is a game time decision. And then on top of that, when you're talking about a player whose entire game is predicated on the fact that he's fast and twitchy and like better at that than the other players on the field, having a hurt hamstring makes him it's almost pointless to have him out there if he's not 100%. Other stuff to discuss. We talked about Elfline a little bit.
What do you do with what can they even do?
I was talking about this. It has been, I can't remember the last time that I saw an NFL player get beat on a scouting combine drill. He just can't.
He just gets bull rushed.
Yeah, he just can't anchor and stop a dude when he's pushing on him, and it gets pushed right into his. It's goofy. I don't know what you can do to fix that, but other teams are going to exploit that, and that is, Kirk Cousins isn't great and is what he is, but that is kryptonite for Kirk Cousins. If you have pressure coming up the middle, he will not function at all.
He can't. He can't look downfield when he's got Elfline's jersey just being pushed in his face.
He can't look downfield when he's got a 7-step drop, and it's kind of a clean pocket. He's definitely not going to be able to look at Elfline on his lap. It was. They got
to stop with those anyways.
That's true too.
He already showed earlier in the year that that's not what he's good at, and I don't know why they went back to that.
It's like the bootlegs and the screens are exclusive. It's like you can't have a game where they mix in bootlegs and screens. It has to be an all screen game or an all bootleg game. It's like one or the other. Yeah. And I'm sure there's some reasoning for that, but it frustrates me to no end. And
they asked Dalvin Cook what did the Chiefs do to stop the running game, and he was like, they didn't do anything. We didn't do well. So basically, I'm sure he wasn't happy with them not running the ball as much. I think he still got 20-something carries, but Madison was not a factor at all.
Not on the field hardly at all.
Yeah, Abdullah was on the field more than him, which is
so goofy.
Why? Why?
See, that's what I mean. Is it's just decisions like that is what a weird game. Treadwell's your leading receiver. Abdullah's catching the ball out of the backfield for touchdowns. Kyle Rudolph is doing a normal tight end thing again. It was just a goofy game. Yeah, man, the running thing bugs me, but I don't know. It's you want him to stick to the run. 20 carries. They were attempting to run the football, but at a certain point, you're just banging your head against the wall. You know, you got to like try something else. But it just it feels like this offense over the last several games had been so good at not being stagnant with their play calling, and it seemed like it was always fresh, and they were always a step ahead, and this was like super stagnant the whole game. It seemed like the defense knew what was coming, like they weren't surprised by anything that the Vikings were doing.
And then that hasn't been the case recently. Like the defenses haven't known what the Vikings are going to run because most of the time they've had, Madison or Cook in the backfield, so even if the running game isn't going great, the threat of it is always there because teams are always going to, sell out for Dalvin Cook because they know he can break, a long run anytime he gets the ball. So the fact that the Vikings just pretty much took him, out of those scenarios and made life easier for the Chiefs is kind of mind-boggling.
Yeah. It
just doesn't seem like a good strategy.
No, and
when you have Dalvin Cook on your team.
To me, that's the most frustrating part of covering NFL football is when they do something like this, when they have players, when you have Diggs and you don't give him as many looks as you should. When you have a Dalvin Cook and he's not getting the looks that he should, it just is so confusing. Norv is another one. When you have an offensive line like that, why would you drop him back 7-9 steps? It doesn't make any sense.
And you know what? It might not even be Kevin Stefanski's fault. In the back of my mind, I have a little feeling that the Vikings had a little extra time, and Mike Zimmer might have dipped his toes into the game plan a little bit for the offense. And I think it might be another wake up call for Mike Zimmer to step away from the
Leave
offense
it alone,
because it seemed a lot like what they were doing earlier in the year when Mike Zimmer was like, well, we have to run the ball because even at the half he's like, we weren't running the ball enough. So I'm sure he was telling Stefanski, call more running plays, even if they're not working, just call them. And it's just like, dude, just leave it alone. Leave it alone. Stop. You're a defensive guy. Focus on your defense that can't stop anybody, and let the Gary Kubiak, who's been an offensive coach in the league forever, worry about what Stefanski's doing. So.
Yeah, that's why you brought him in here. Let him do their thing, man. If that is the case, man. It's like they revert back to. It's like they get back into the rut. They're doing the same like stagnant play calls. It seems like. The special teams are horrible. Dude, we're missing extra points all of a sudden again, even though we haven't been doing that for a long time. It's like
that played a factor.
It did.
That was a factor because the Chiefs, when they were down 3 points in the fourth quarter, instead of kicking that 54-yard field goal, they would have had to go for it. Yeah. It was like 4th and 27. Mm-hmm. And then if they miss it, then the game's over.
It's true.
I don't like to put one play. I don't like to point the blame on one play, but that was a big play.
The extra point miss
didn't happen. And
it changes the way. It changes the way you call the game.
It was gonna come back to haunt them.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to see when he missed it, and it was a tight game. You knew that was happening. You knew that was going to come. You knew.
Can't miss those, man.
To me, the play was the 91-yard whatever rushing touchdown. Because if that doesn't happen, everything else kind of falls the way it's supposed to, and I think the Vikings win. But that was just like super deflating. Now you got a situation on your hands. It's like I don't know. That to me was the play, but very closely followed by that momentum. Is that that extra point, which also is like an absolute momentum killer. Other goofy stuff that we saw. We talked about the rush defense a little bit, or rather the Vikings running the ball. The supposed not good Chiefs rushing defense seemed pretty good to me. NFC North, everybody lost. Patriots lost. That makes me happy. Oh, yeah. J-Ron Curse and Mike Hughes both start up. No punishment, no nothing. It looked like to me, I think, for their stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Curse
they suited
up.
Playing a lot anyways, but...
No, he only had one snap on defense. He had a bunch of snaps on special teams. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was interesting. It was just interesting because, Mike Zimmer said he was very, very ticked off, and they're just suiting up for the game. I didn't mind Hughes because he was just
there.
he was there. Probably not a good decision on his part to get in the car with Jaron Curse, but Jaron Curse is the one at fault. He's getting the charges, and he's probably going to get the suspension.
That's what I was just.
He's one. If Mike Zimmer's, very, very ticked off and he's done a lot to change the culture, then what you do is probably not let Jaron Curse play, at least for, either the whole game or a quarter or two. It didn't seem like anything like that happened. So if anyone on the Vikings roster wants to, get a little crazy and go drive drunk, they just know that nothing's going to happen to them now. So that's great example. Yeah.
And it is possible that there was punishment that maybe we didn't catch because Curse hasn't been playing a lot. But yeah, if that's the precedent being set, I don't think
they could have fined him like they fined Stefon Diggs.
Yeah, they don't have to come out with whatever punishment.
Tantrum.
In-house stuff, whatever. NFC North. I think honestly, as far as the playoffs is concerned for the Vikings, the NFC North feels like it's kind of slipping away, doesn't it? I mean, they're in good shape.
The division?
Yeah, I mean, the division is close, and it was important that they lost that game, that everybody lost with the Vikings.
Oh, yeah.
But do you feel like they have a legit chance of winning this division still? I feel like they're going to be there, but it's hard for me to imagine them winning.
No, I do. Because they're only one game behind, and the Packers just proved on Sunday that they're still not that good, even though their record
100%.
They only have 2 losses on their record. They just lost to a 3-5 Chargers team.
Barf. And all those games are at
basically
home
a West Coast home
Vikings.
game. Yeah, West Coast, especially for the Packers. They're a national team.
Yeah.
Sadly. I was listening to the Bill Simmons podcast today, and he said Aaron Rodgers was thrown off because there was so many Packers fans in the stands, but they were all in shape, so he didn't know.
He didn't understand
what to do with this. Yeah.
That's pretty good, actually. Speaking of,
I think they can win the division still. They play the Packers again. They play them at home. They play the Bears and
play them at home.
The Lions all at home.
Yep.
So they can win the division.
It's lining
I think
up.
that's their best case scenario. I don't think. Yeah, if they get in as a wild card, it's probably going to be one and done.
100%. I 100% agree. I think that to me is the most likely scenario from this team as far as the performance that we've seen so far this year. Is they're probably going to get into the playoffs. It's probably going to be a wild card, and they're probably going to get waxed by whoever they have to go and play whenever they go and play them. Maybe they'll win the wild card game, but whoever they are playing is waiting for them after that is going to destroy them on the road.
Yeah, because it depends. If they play like the Cowboys in the wild card game, then they could win that.
100%. Yeah.
Who knows? Actually, we'll see next week.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see.
What were you going to say? Speaking
of fans, other teams' fans and home stadiums, could you believe how many Vikings fans were in maybe they're just standing out at Arrowhead because there's a lot of red and white in there, but holy cannoli, it looked like there were a lot of skull chants going on in there, and it seemed like it would be a fun environment.
It's only
to take part in.
It's only like 8 hours. 8-hour drive, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Kansas City, I feel like.
Yep. You could take a train.
So it's not that far.
No, not at all.
Yeah, that would take probably 24 hours.
I've done it before. It's the worst.
Why does the train take way long? Why does it take way longer than anything else? It's supposed to be faster. It's supposed to go. Don't trains go like 200 miles an hour?
They go super fast, but then you have to go to the station and hang out. I could tell you, I have a story about being 19 and getting hammered drunk on one of those trains, and I have no idea how I made it to Missouri that day. None whatsoever. Thank you to all the very, very kind people working at the Amtrak
It probably
stations.
takes forever because the train tracks have to go like around all the roads because people use the roads and don't ride trains.
They get priority.
Yeah.
They make bridges for that too, but I hear what you're saying. No.
Yeah. It's weird. I don't know. I just feel like it's weird that trains are even
a thing anymore.
Still a thing.
I live right next to them. There was one going by just now, and I still don't get it. Freight, that makes sense. Passenger, none whatsoever. Don't get it.
In New York,
self-driving cars, like
New York City.
Give me a break.
New York City. Yeah,
oh yeah, in Chicago, subways and stuff. That's different. Those are like,
it's a subway.
Yeah, that's underground buses. That's different.
Yeah.
Trains like Babe Ruth going to the next game. That's Ridiculous.
Some hard-hitting train talk on this episode.
For real, this is a good way to end it. Do you got anything else you would like to add on trains or football or Babe Ruth was mentioned just a second ago for some reason?
Try and catch a little bit of the Monday night game, see how the Cowboys are.
Yeah, buddy.
Which I think the Vikings have a good chance of beating. I don't think the
too.
Cowboys are too great. They have a good defense. Ezekiel Elliott's pretty good.
Yeah.
Amari Cooper, pretty decent.
He's okay.
Dak Prescott, it's not bad.
Yeah, he's okay.
So
he's no Kirk
I think
Cousins.
He's no NFC player of the month.
Yeah, exactly.
So
highly decorated, Kirk.
Did we even talk about that? No, because that happened after we recorded.
It was,
NFC Player of the Month.
Player of the month, man.
Wow.
And I was looking at those stats.
Offense.
Pretty impressive. Only one interception, and that was the one that went off of his wide receiver's face.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a pretty good month, I guess.
But today is National I Told You So Kirk Cousins Day. So
God,
all that stuff happened 4 weeks ago means nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
It's all his fault yesterday. Can't beat anyone with a winning record. Definitely has nothing to do with play calling or the defense.
No.
It's definitely not the secondary.
0-10-1 is the record that's most
Trey
important.
Waynes had a great game.
Defense that's supposed to be dominant in the backbone of this team. Mediocre
we
at
got to talk
best.
about Holton Hill. Came up with a fumble yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What a return.
I would like to just state for the record that I like Holton Hill as a player, but I have no confidence in him being on this team long term whatsoever. But I really enjoy watching him play. He's like a really tough kid. There are only so many football players who are tough, visibly tough. He's one of those. I don't know.
If he lived on a football field, then yeah, we'd probably feel fine about him. But
100%.
he gets to leave the stadium, then no, we're not going to feel good about it.
Can't trust you, bub. Sorry. Like you a lot. Can't trust you. I would actually.
Even then, I don't know, because they have those delivery apps these days. So I don't know if he would order something that's not supposed to.
Yeah, that's true. You can never be sure.
Actually,
right,
they don't have those in Minnesota, do they?
No,
because it's something still illegal.
It is. They can't. Or if that happens, well, there's no way anyone can talk about it. Definitely not me. So.
Nope.
This was a really fun ending. Trains and delivery service.
Plane.
Automobiles.
Yeah. We got the automobiles. We can talk about planes. So.
Yeah, and Babe Ruth.
One more thing. Did you see the way Baker Mayfield looked after yesterday's game?
I
didn't. You know he shaved twice yesterday?
I saw the meme that was the South Park dad.
What is it was like? I think the big meme was like, "What does Baker Mayfield look like he does for a living?"
And
somebody said like,
good.
sell shower curtain rings.
Yes. Oh man, I was thinking about Baker. He's in trouble right now. I think that he's one of those guys. He needs this. You thought he was just going to land in his first stop and everything was going to go well? A kid who had to transfer out of 3 different schools before he found the one that worked for him and was successful in it. He'll come back. He'll be a good football player, but I don't think it's going to be with Cleveland. I think that he's going to get run out of town. Or rather, I think he's going to kind of self-destruct here. Get benched and then find his way.
He'll probably do better next year when Kevin Stefanski's his coach. So.
Why do you have to do that? You always do that. Make me knock on wood before we go. All right.
But you'd want that, though, because that would mean that Kevin Stefanski did well.
No. Not well enough. Not for me. Not what I want.
Well, actually, you know what? He almost was the Browns coach this year. So
he was. He's definitely going to be a head coach next year. It's going to suck.
Probably, yeah.
I can't think about it. It's going to stress me out.
And then they get a new OC and a new offense.
In a new stretch of 4 games where we have to remind people that
Gary Kubiak will probably just move down to the field and call plays.
No,
hopefully.
Gary Kubiak is going to take over as interim head coach at the end of this year. Oh my God! What did I just? What? Jeez Louise! Knock on wood that doesn't. All right, well, you gotta go. I gotta go. I'm getting negative. I gotta get out of here.
It's getting out of hand.
Stuff's getting heavy here. We go for an hour.
Even with the train talk, it's getting off the rails.
Oh wow! Zing. And that's how we end it. See you next time, bud. Skol Vikes.
Skol.